Hello everybody, welcome to this presentation on expense management in collaboration with Elite Dynamics. My name is Martin and I'll be your host today, and I'm going to show you expense management, our solution for submitting expenses, mileage claims and more from your devices directly into Business Central or your NAV. I'm going to start off with one PowerPoint slide to show you how the architecture looks like, and then I will dive right into the system. So we got your Business Central here in the middle, but expense management works from NAV 2009 R2 up to the latest version of Business Central. So if you got an older version of NAV, no problem, you can still use our software. So we got it here in the middle, and on the left hand side we got your colleagues who can submit expenses and mileage claims and more, and they can do that from an app on their mobile phone or via our expense portal. What is the difference between the two? Well, functionality wise they're both the same, only basically the portal is the app in the form of a browser. If I look at myself, I book a lot of flights normally. I do this on my laptop and then I expense them through the expense portal, which is more convenient for me. Once I'm on the road, I collect receipts and then I will expense them through my app. All of this information gets sent to Business Central, where the accounts payable team can have a look at it, and then they can send it for approval within Business Central itself or our web approval portal, which allows you to approve on your mobile phone or on your iPad. We have corporate credit cards. What does this mean? We have a connection with Visa, MasterCard and American Express, and this allows you to make a direct connection with them, and then the transactions will be sent to your Business Central, and then expense management will try to match these transactions to the receipts that the users have sent in, saving you as accounts payable team a lot of time. And there are also a lot of other handy functionalities in this functionality. For example, if a user forgets to send in a receipt, the system will send an automatic update to that person's app and their portal, so that they will be notified immediately and you do not have to chase them anymore. The last part of this PowerPoint, you will see Continia Online over here. Continia Online is our online service that makes sure that everything talks to each other and sends back and forth the data. Important to know, we do not store any of your data. It will be stored on your end. And however, we do touch your data, of course, but therefore we have our GDPR in place. More information on this can be found on our website, continia.com. And if you then scroll down to the Trust Center, you'll be able to see a lot of information on this. So this was the PowerPoint. I know nobody likes PowerPoints, me neither. So I opened up a demo system in Business Central. And I first want to show you how it looks like for the accounts payable team. And then I'll move right into how it looks like for the expense user. So we can set up a role center, and there you can see a couple of things. On the left hand side you will see settlements. Settlements are like groups of expenses and mileage claims that your colleagues can make. So for example, I'll be flying to Denmark at the end of the month, and then I will create a settlement called my Denmark trip, and there I will have my airline tickets, my hotel costs, my taxi, my food, etc. Once I fly back, about 2 days later, I would say, I will close down the settlement, and then my director can see you spent £400 during this trip to our head office. So this can come in quite in handy if you want to make groups of expenses. Next to it, we will also see individual ones. Of course, you get a receipt and then you take a photo of it and then you upload it and then you're done, and it will come in over here. We'll see the credit card transactions coming in over here in the third row. We can do mileage claims, and we have something called per diem. Per diem is like giving your colleagues an allowance. For example, if they go out on a business trip, they will get £10 for lunch and £20 for dinner. Then the person can say, well, I was gone for 2 days and I had 2 lunches and 1 dinner. So if that then gets approved, that person will get £40 in their bank account, and then they can choose how to spend that, whether that's on a fancy restaurant or they'll go to the supermarket and cook something for themselves. In my demo today, I want to start off with some credit card transactions, which are already sent to my system. The first time I do this, I have to press assign card to user and basically tell the system that this card belongs to Bart Duncan. Now the system will check if Bart Duncan has sent in any receipts for these transactions. If yes, it will be okay. If no, he will get a notification in his app and in his expense portal. What I just did, assigning a card to a user, is a one-time exercise, and you do not have to do this on a daily basis. Next time Bart Duncan sends in a credit card transaction, it will be processed automatically. But as you know, demos, I need to set it up myself first time. So then if I look now over here, This is basically the place where the accounts payable team will process the expenses from now on. They'll get an overview of the expenses, the original receipts on the right hand side, and on the bottom, attachments missing. In this case, it's attachments missing. That's why it's blank over here. And we can see the status is pending expense user. So Bart Duncan did not send in any receipts for these transactions. No problem, we're going to do it for him. But before I'm going to do that, let me take you through these columns and show you how expense management works. On the left, we can see the person who submitted the expense, the date where the transaction took place. We got an expense type. This is something that we created. We believe that people submitting expenses are not finance people, and they do not know if we can claim back VAT, to what general ledger account something needs to be posted to, but they can categorize their own expenses. So if they bought a new mouse for their home office, they can put it on the hardware. If they stayed in a hotel, they can select accommodation. And then the finance team will code general ledger accounts and how much VAT we can claim back when setting up an expense type. So then afterwards, it will all go automatically. We can see the description over here from the bank in this case, but you also see the users' descriptions later on over here. Users can add attendees to an expense claim if maybe a customer went with them. We can see the status over here. We can see if something has been put on hold and if somebody needs to approve it. The currency code is left blank because it's a local currency within Business Central. Should it be a foreign currency, that will be shown over here, and the column next to it is the column with the foreign currency amount, and this is the column with the local amount, in your case GBP probably. Users can select if they bought something with their own money or with a corporate credit card. And the last thing, because we're fully integrated into your system, we will be able to add dimensions, jobs, anything to your app, and you will be able to do this yourself. And then users can select these. At the top, the finance team has all the buttons that they need to process these expenses. And yeah, this will be their working place if you decide to go with expense management. I will come back to this part later. I want to switch over to the role of the expense user and show you how we can do this. We have an expense portal and an expense app. Both have the same functionality. So for this presentation today, I will open up the app and show you. Basically, people will log in with their own credentials. And if you want, we can also sign in with Office 365. I'm going to log in now. There we go. Thank you. Yes. So this is how the app looks like. It will work on iPhones and Android phones. And here we can see a couple of things. At the top, if you got multiple companies within your database and you need to expense a multiple, you can toggle between them over here. Then we'll see, you create a new expense, create a new mileage claim, a per diem and a settlement, open, and history. So first let me create a new expense. I'm going to click on this one, and the system will first prompt me, did you buy this with your own money or with a corporate credit card? Well, let's say I bought this one with my own money. Then we'll see a lot of fields over here, like amount, document date, expense type, description. All these fields, you will determine how they look like, and the red stars means that they're mandatory to be filled in. So let's make it easy. I had a cup of coffee with Jermaine. It was £5.41, and what I can do now, I can open up my camera and take a photo. I can press the paper clip and then grab a photo from my mobile phone or maybe a file that's on my phone. Number 3 is I can create a template. Let's say you get a recurring expense every month. Then you can fill in all of these details, save it as a template, and next month when that receipt comes in, you just click this button, select the template that you want, and all the details will be filled in to make your life easier. Over here on the left hand side, I got an extra button here with my pictures because this is in the software emulator. I will select my expense, press OK, and then I get to see a small thumbnail of it, and if I make it bigger, I will see my receipt. You can add multiple receipts, also Word files, Excel, PDF, PowerPoints. PowerPoints may be a bit weird, but you can do multiple types, of course. Then the expense types. So again, very important, you will create these and your finance team will code general ledger accounts and VAT reclaiming on the back side of it. So the user just have to select, you know what, this was food with guests, and then the description, that was coffee with partner, and then the attendees. I press OK, I'll press details. And sometimes you have to sneeze during a presentation, it happens, apologies. So I will say I was with Jermaine from Elite Dynamics, and I will say he was a guest. I will save it, and then it is nicely added to the expense claim. We can see department over here, but this is one of my cost centers, but this can be yours, of course, and you can also add your, how do you say this, your job numbers, your job tasks, whatever you prefer. I'll say this one is for sales. At the bottom, we can see add allocation lines. What does this mean? Now, as you can see, we selected one expense type for this claim, but sometimes you probably need more expense types on one claim. So let's say you receive a hotel bill. You can say I want to expense £80 to expense type hotel and £20 to food with guests. And you can do that through add allocation lines. Later on, we will create a settlement, and then we can add it, for example, to my Denmark trip that is happening at the end of the month. I'll press submit, and then it's gone. The nice thing about this will also work offline, so you can do this in the train or in the airplane as well. We can also do mileage claims. We have a lot of UK rules incorporated, like we can set up different rates per person depending on their type of car or engine size. After 10,000 miles, the rate will drop a little bit. We can add fuel receipts, attendees, whatever you prefer, and it will use Google Maps to calculate the route for you. So let me see. Let's go Elite Dynamics. Limited, I think, like this. And then let's go to Birmingham Airport, why not? And then, let me see. I think this one is not correct. Let's do something else. Bullring Shopping Center. I'm just making an example here. And then it calculates the route for me. It basically uses Google Maps to do this for you. As I see, I made a mistake here. I forgot to switch it to miles, but this can also be changed to miles. So please forgive me about this. But you can see the route. You can also take another route like this. So you can select one. And then the user needs to add a description. Customer visit, something like this. We'll see the distance in miles. You can add it to a settlement. And the nice thing is now if I press submit, it will say just send it, continue from there to another place, or create a return trip as well. I'll just send it for now, and then it will be gone. And you can also save your favorite routes, of course, and yeah, a very convenient system. You can create a per diem, so you can say, well, I left today, and I'll be back 10th of June, and then I can say project on the site, and then I can click on the days, and basically per day you can say what kind of expenses did you have. Well, I didn't stay in a hotel and a breakfast the first day, but I did have lunch and dinner. I can save it, and on day number 2 I stayed in a hotel, I breakfast, lunch and dinner, as an example. If this now gets approved, the person will get a certain amount of money based on what you have set up behind these things on their bank account, and they can choose on how to spend that. So I will submit it, and that will be gone. The last one is a settlement. A settlement will allow you to create a group for expenses, mileage claims, and per diems. So I will call it my Denmark trip. I will press create. And then I can add my expenses from here, my mileage claims and my per diems. I will not do that for now. I will show you why in a second. If I now go to the bottom left, you saw there was a red star indicating over here. And here, that means that we got open credit card transactions. That's why this credit card is over here on the left. Well, now I can open one. And as you can see, Expense Management filled in a lot of details based on the credit card transaction. Now I just add my photo from the receipt. I press OK. OK. And then at the bottom, let me go there. I can now say add to settlement. I'll add my Denmark trip. And if I now press save, it will be nicely added to my Denmark settlement at the top. That's not always necessary. Let's say I had a coffee and I do not want to add that to my settlement. I'll just add the photo. I press OK, and then I press submit. So even if your colleagues forget to send in a receipt from their credit card transactions, it's not the end of the world. They can easily fix that. On the bottom right, under history, users can see what they've submitted so far, what got rejected, what got approved. So everything will be over here. And on the top right, you can add an extra layer of security through the app. We can save images and photos and use only when the Wi-Fi is here. This app is also available in the browser, so you can access it from two different ways. Very easy and convenient to use. In our newest version, you can also add your logo over here at the top, and we have a lot of other functionalities, but I cannot explain everything in this short demo. So now what I want to do, I want to switch back to Business Central. As you can see, nothing has happened because I switched it off. I just now pressed the button synchronize. Now all the data will be collected from the apps and sent back and forth. Now if I look over here, I can see I had a coffee with my partner, and then I see Jermaine, and then I can see he was on my Elite Dynamics. I've added my department code, and you get to see the original receipt on the right hand side. And the same goes for the one at the top. If I go to my mileage claims, I got one, and then you'll see the one from Birmingham Airport. So this is how user can submit expenses and more. How do we approve? We can do that in two different ways, or two different places actually. One is within our web approval portal, which allows you to approve on your mobile phone and your iPad. And the biggest difference is that you can access it with a team member license instead of a full user license. And number one, Business Central, of course. And I will show you both today. While my web approval portal is loading, we set up one approver per expense user, like a supervisor, and that person will receive all the claims from that person. If you want, you can add a second one based on a limit. So let's say the supervisor can approve up to £100. If it's more than £100, then it will also go to the manager. The approvers will get a notification email. They will click on a link and it will open up the web approval portal, or it will open up Business Central. That's a choice that you can make. And yeah, now we can see it over here. The users get to see the original approvals and also switch between mileage claims, per diems, and settlements. On the top right, they can switch between companies, and they can set up an out of office if they're on holiday. I will click on it. And then you get to see the original receipt on the right hand side. You can add comments, see details from the receipt. On the top left, approve, reject, forward, or put it on hold if there's a query. I'll approve it for now. And then it automatically goes to the next one. I'll approve this one as well. And the other type of approval I want to show you is in Business Central. It is exactly the same, only it looks like Business Central. So you get to see the picture on the right hand side, all the details here at the top. Approve, reject, forward, put it on hold, add comments, and see some more details. If you approve over here, it automatically goes to the next one as well. So now we basically are at the final stage, the release bin, and released expenses and mileage claims can be posted. And you can do that one by one in a batch, or you can do it via a job queue. With a job queue, you can say every day at 5 o'clock, everything with status release will be posted. Once the posting process is done, what I'm about to do, expense management stops, and yeah, you will pay your colleagues maybe once a month, once a week. That's whatever you have set up. Basically, what we do, we set up your colleagues as vendors within NAV or Business Central, or within Business Central as employees as well. And yeah, the receipts will be posted to that. I can do the same with the mileage claim. I will post this one as well, and then it's gone. All right. So now we've done the complete process from beginning to end. So a quick recap, maybe looking at ourselves. We didn't have an expense management system before. Then I would still travel, of course. I would collect all my receipts, and at the end of the month, I would open up the Excel sheet, fill in all the details the bookkeeper wants me to, put everything in a big envelope and give it to my director. He would approve it, and then he would give it to the, how do you say this? The bookkeeping, of course, the finance department. They would book it into NAV, file it, and then pay me at the end. So it was a lot of work for everybody. Nowadays, I just take a photo of the receipt, then I can throw away the receipt, and then it will be sent to my director. He would approve it digitally, and then it comes to the finance department one more time. They have a look at it, and then they post it and pay me at the end of the month. And yeah, this saves everybody a lot of time. How do you find back transactions? You can do it right within your Business Central via the general ledger accounts, vendor cards, posted documents, VAT entries, or you name it, where the expense touches something, you can open it. This is what I wanted to show you in this short 25 minutes. I've been hurrying and hurrying, but the system can do a lot more. And I would invite you to contact your account manager at Elite Dynamics. They can book you in for a one-on-one session with your team and show it to you properly. I hope this video gives you a good overview of what it can do for you, but don't worry, it has a lot more functionality than what I was able to show you today. I did enjoy it though, and yeah, good thing. Elite Dynamics, it's one of our biggest partners in the UK, and they've sold this many times. So you're not a guinea pig, which is nice to know within software land. And for one last time, if you have questions, please contact your account manager at Elite Dynamics, and they will be able to answer anything for you, from pricing to a demo, support, whatever. Thank you very much for listening to me today, and hopefully we will be in touch shortly. Have a nice day, all of you.